This polymarket trading strategy has been generating sport traders over $5,000 a month trading sports futures. It's a plus EV trading strategy, simply meaning you're finding cheaper prices for the same market, for the same outcome in a different prediction market compared to Polymarket. And ultimately, it allows you to make most of that price inefficiencies and profit from it. I'll be showing you the platform I use, a real-time example of this exact strategy, and ultimately data to just back up everything I'm saying. So the platform I use is called predictify.com, and ultimately what you need to do after going onto the site is go straight to the trade page up here. After you get to the trade page, you're going to stay on the aggregator tool up here. It's ultimately the first selection, and then you want to click on sports, right? The reason I like sports a lot more than the other categories is one of the main reasons is because ultimately you have a lot more volatility and a lot more volume on a daily basis. And especially when there is a sporting event happening. For example, today we do have the World Cup qualifiers. And because the World Cup qualifiers are happening, a lot of these prices are also shifting. There's also a lot of international friendlies going on right now with the World Cup, which obviously the teams competing in the World Cup, for example, England is playing today in a friendly, and their prices are also going to be more volatile during these days, especially when they perform bad or they perform very well. So this is a perfect time to be tracking these markets for the World Cup. Now, of course, if the NBA is going on, or if there's another sporting event that's coming up or has just taken place or is live, that's ultimately when you want to be active as much as possible on the aggregator tool, just because that's the best time to find these inefficiencies. So for this example today, I'll be showing you the World Cup example, just because these teams have been playing today. Now, your goal here, one thing I would say, stay away from the lower liquidity and the lower price markets. For example, from Italy all the way down to Algeria, I would avoid anything priced below 1 cent. You're sort of in the danger zone. This could go left or right. Right now, what you're going to look for is for the markets that I would say the top 10 favorites in this case, and you're going to click on any of the markets. You're going to keep track, actually, before you even click on a market. I would personally keep track of the price change. Right, the price change can be a very good giveaway. The price that's being tracked here is for Polymarket, and ultimately it can be a good giveaway if there is a plus EV opportunity. Now, plus EV opportunity simply means where the price on one market is a lot cheaper, right, than other markets. Ultimately showing that it's, mispriced, and you're able to come in and make the most out of that price difference, right? And the cool thing about it is these prices, they might not change, they might not stay there for long. For example, you can see here for Limitless, in this case, it was there for a few days. The price was actually a lot lower, for about 1.5% here for quite a while. And of course, later on, it picked back up and went back to where the market is supposed to be. Gemini tends to be somewhat mispriced quite often, but you can't make much out of it just because they are overpriced. You're looking for the underpriced markets here. Now, in this case for Spain, you got Limitless currently at 15%. But the reason why you want to be spending as much time tracking these, which is probably one of the downsides of this strategy, is because the prices here won't stay like this for long. For this example here, in the same day, it was there for about 5 hours for Limitless, and the price went back to where it should be compared to the other prediction markets. Because there's other traders, of course, doing this strategy and realizing that, look, Limitless is clearly mispriced. There needs to be a way for us to, trade it at this, to have it as, it's obviously underpriced. We want to come in now and buy it while the price is lower, right? So that's ultimately what you're looking at. You're looking at the median price, right? The average price as well. In this case, the average price is about 15.5 cents, about 16 cents from the top of my head, 15.5 to 16 cents for Spain to win the World Cup, right? All you're trading is the entry while it's mispriced. And once it becomes priced, you're exiting your trade. You're not waiting until the World Cup and whether Spain wins. You don't care. The only thing you care about is coming in at a cheaper price and selling it when the price hits the average compared to the other prediction markets. Now, for England, for example, here, I'm actually going to go on all time to show you more examples of this strategy in place. This example of Spain isn't the best example just because it's about 1.5 cents apart, which is still risky, right? It is pretty risky. So ultimately, you don't want to be banking on it too much, if that makes sense. All right, in this case, Polymarket, again, opinion is about 1 cent off. You know, about 2 cents compared to the average. Polymarket's at 13.2. Opinion in this case was down to 11%. So again, I wouldn't highly recommend it to just, sit along and be looking at this market, just because a 1 cent difference isn't exactly insane, right? With $100, you're coming out with an extra dollar. With $1,000, you're coming out with $10. It's not ideal. Now, we're going to try to find a live opportunity with you guys in this video, just to show you that it's not that hard, because not many people are tracking these. There's not many terminals, if many, that are tracking this many prediction markets. So I'm ultimately letting you into the alpha while I can. So this market is actually quite interesting. You got Norway to win the World Cup. Now, again, we don't care if Norway's going to win the World Cup or not, right? So it's available in about 6 markets. So this could be pretty good, right? The chart does take a while to load, which is a big letdown again. Now, okay, this one is interesting. Okay, I'm liking this. This one is pretty good. So Limitless is currently priced at 1.6%, right? And the average is about it's a 1.8%. The market average here is about 3.4. I would say about 3.4. Now, one thing you realize here, Polymarket and Kalshi tend to be the most, not all the time, but most of the time, they tend to be the most accurate ways to track and to dictate what the price should be. Just because Polymarket and Kalshi have the most volume and liquidity, right? So you want to use Polymarket and Kalshi as a benchmark. Yes, Predict Fund is somewhat accurate as well, opinion as well at times. Gemini is pretty off quite a lot of the times. Limitless, in the other hand, you can get some good opportunities there, and opinion as well quite a few times. I'm gonna look at the F1 driver champion. This one actually has a lot of movements, and I like this a lot just because you can find quite a lot of opportunities. So Polymarket is the benchmark. This is actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty good. I'm surprised it's that. Okay, so you got Max here, Max Verstappen, currently priced, and I'm not sure why his price is going down. Yeah, this is actually quite surprising. This is a very good price for Max Verstappen. And again, these prices won't stay like this for long. It'll probably be a matter of hours, right, before the price again goes back to normal. You can see here the prices stay pretty consistent. But in this case, the prices have stayed the same, right? Have stayed the same across all these markets. However, on Polymarket, the price is sitting at 3.4%, right? I mean, there's news and PR about him, about, some bad PR about him ejecting a journalist. What does that have to do with him not doing well in the competition, right? So this is obviously stupidly low, and it's a live example ultimately. And this happened just a few hours ago, about 12 hours, in the last day. Right, it's in real time. You're getting some news here about why Verstappen removed journalists from his Japan F1 media session. I mean, if that's the reason they've mispriced this market, it's ridiculous, right? So ultimately, you can capitalize on it before the market sort of catches on. Now, clearly, the most accurate pricing for this should be around 6 to 8%. 3.4% is pretty low. Now, if you look at the prices here, actually, yeah, I mean, the amount of volume, sorry, not volume, but shares right now in the order book, you'll be moving the needle quite a bit with even a small order. So you gotta be careful. You'd probably be able to buy a few $100 and get it to 5 cents, right? So you wanna make sure you don't go oversize and trade this, right? So you're gonna keep it close to your entry price. If you're buying in that market, then ultimately you wanna come in and stay at around 3.9 to 4. This is already increasing. People are buying shares. But yeah, this is again a live example on how you're going to be able to execute this strategy. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.